My dear brothers and sisters, my dear friends, let me ask you a question that weighs on every heart. Do you ever lie awake at night, your mind racing with numbers? Bills to pay, dreams to fund, a future to secure for your children. In the quiet of the night, the pursuit of wealth can feel like a heavy, lonely burden. We live in a world that shouts at us, hustle harder, grind more, climb the ladder. And there is value in effort. But in our frantic striving, we have forgotten a profound divine secret. The Quran reminds us, and there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision. So Surah Hud 11:6, your provision, your rizq, is already written. It has your name on it. The question is not if you will receive it, but how. Will you receive it as a stressful, draining chase that empties your soul? Or will you receive it with barakah, a blessing that multiplies its value, brings peace to your home, and makes little feel like plenty? Today, we are not talking about magic spells or shortcuts. We are talking about turning the key in the lock that Allah Himself has placed on your treasure chest. We are talking about 6 powerful dos, divine conversations, that don't just ask for wealth, but invite the barakah that transforms it. Let us begin by truly immersing ourselves in the first key, the dua of Prophet Musa a.s. To understand the profound power of this supplication, we must first feel the ground upon which he stood when these words left his lips. This was not a man sitting in comfort, casually contemplating his financial portfolio. This was a man on the run, a fugitive. He had just, in an attempt to defend a fellow Israelite, accidentally taken a life. The corridors of power in Egypt, the very palace he was raised in, were now hunting him. Fear was his constant companion. The dust of the desert was his road. He arrived at the well of Madian, a stranger in a strange land, exhausted, alone, and with absolutely nothing to his name. His worldly possessions were the clothes on his back and the staff in his hand. His resume was a liability, his past a danger. In the eyes of the world, he was bankrupt, not just financially, but in terms of security, status, and hope. It is in this state of absolute emptiness, this raw and vulnerable need, that he witnesses a scene at the well. Shepherds are watering their flocks, while 2 women stand back, waiting, moved by a sense of chivalry and justice. Musa, despite his own exhaustion, steps forward and waters their flocks for them. It is after this act of sheer, selfless effort, an effort that asked for no reward, that he retreats into the shade. And there, in the quiet solitude, with his physical strength spent, he turns not to the chiefs of the town, not to a plan for a new business, but to his Lord. And his prayer is a masterpiece of spiritual intelligence. He does not say, "Oh Allah, give me a job." He does not say, "Oh Allah, make me rich." He does not even say, "Oh Allah, give me safety from my enemies." His plea is far more profound, all-encompassing, and utterly trusting. He says, Rabbi inni lima anzalta alayya min khairin fakir. My Lord, indeed I am, for whatever good you would send down to me, in need. Let us dissect the sheer brilliance of this. The word Vailaima, for whatever, is a word of absolute surrender. It is an open hand held out to the divine with no preconceived notions of what should fill it. He does not dictate the form, the amount, or the timing of the goodness. He simply affirms his state of being a fakir, one who is in utter and perpetual need. This is the first seismic shift in consciousness that we must learn. Our modern mindset is trained to be specific. We are told to set smart goals, to visualize the exact car, the exact house, the exact bank balance. There is a place for intention, but Musa's ayat teaches us that before intention, there must be surrender. By asking for care, for goodness, he is acknowledging that Allah's knowledge of what is good for him is infinitely greater than his own. Perhaps a high-paying job in Madian would have drawn the attention of Pharaoh's spies. Perhaps a sudden fortune would have corrupted his character. He doesn't know, but Allah knows. So he asks for the general, knowing that the specific, the all-knowing, will send down the precise form of goodness that is perfect for his situation, his destiny, and his soul. This dua, therefore, is the ultimate antidote to anxiety. When we tie our happiness to a single specific outcome, a promotion, a particular business deal, a specific number in our account. We set ourselves up for despair if that one door closes. We are essentially telling Allah, I know what's best for me and it is only this. But when we embody the spirit of Moses' dua, we are saying, my Lord, I am in need of whatever good you have for me. If this door closes, it is because it was not khair. I trust that your next opening will be a better form of goodness, one that I may not even have the imagination to conceive of. This faith liberates us from the torment of what if, and allows us to navigate life with a peaceful heart, knowing that every event, whether perceived as gain or loss, is a potential vessel for a divine goodness that we have specifically asked for. Now, witness the immediate and multifaceted response to this single powerful prayer. He had asked for care, for goodness. And what was sent down? First, one of the women he helped approaches him, walking with shyness, and delivers a message from her father, an invitation to a meal. This is the first goodness, immediate sustenance for his hungry body. Second, at the meal, the father, Prophet Shuaib A.S., hears his story and offers him not just a meal but security. He says, do not fear, you are safe from the wrongdoing people. This is the second goodness, the gift of safety, the lifting of the paralyzing fear that had haunted him. Third, he is offered a job, a means of honest livelihood with a clear and fair contract of 8 or 10 years of service. This is the third goodness, dignified work and financial stability. And fourth, and most miraculously, he is offered a marriage to one of the daughters, a woman described as righteous and strong. This is the fourth goodness, a life companion, a family, a home, an emotional solace. From a single dua for whatever good, he received food, security, employment, and a family. He received a complete life, rebuilt from the ground up. He did not ask for any of these specific things. He asked for care, and Allah, in His infinite wisdom and bounty, gave him a package of goodness so comprehensive it addressed every dimension of his human need. This is the lesson for us in our pursuit of wealth and barakah. We often fixate on the currency, the salary, the profit margin. We pray for that one thing. But the dua of Musa A.S. expands our horizon. It teaches us to ask for the blessing within the provision, not just the provision itself. It is a prayer that aligns our desires with divine wisdom. So, when you sit in your own moment of need, when the bills are piling up and the future seems uncertain, before you present Allah with your specific list, first open your hands and your heart and recite this dua. Acknowledge your state of being a fakir, a needy servant, and express your trust that whatever good He sends, be it a new opportunity, a sudden solution, a valuable lesson in patience, or the strengthening of your character through difficulty, it is precisely the care you need. Unlock your heart with this trust, and you will find that the doors of Rizq and Barakah will open in ways you could never have planned yourself. Let us now turn our attention to the second key, a profound practice that operates not as a request for increase, but as a fortress for what we already possess. In our relentless pursuit of more, we often overlook a fundamental truth: the preservation of blessings is, in itself, a form of increase. Imagine a vessel filled with precious water. You can spend all your energy searching for a larger vessel or a new spring. But if your current vessel has cracks, your efforts are in vain. The water of your provision slowly leaks into the dry earth, leaving you perpetually thirsty, no matter how much you pour in. This second key is the sacred seal that mends those cracks. It is the daily invocation, Bismillahilladhi la yadru man azmihi shayn fil ardi wala fis samai wa huwa sami'ul alim. In the name of Allah, with whose name nothing in the heavens or the earth can cause harm, and He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. This is not merely a phrase to be recited, it is a conscious, active entrustment of one's entire existence, life, health, family, and wealth, into a divine protective custody. The power of this dua lies in its comprehensive nature. It is a declaration of immunity against the unseen harms that drain our resources and dissipate our barakah. We often conceptualize loss in tangible terms: a stolen wallet, a bad investment, a sudden expense. But the most insidious drains on our wealth and well-being are often intangible. They are the hidden forces of envy, the negative energy that can follow a boastful word, the spiritual voids that lead to impulsive and wasteful spending. It is the project that seemed promising, but was cursed from the start with hidden flaws. It is the income that arrives, but is immediately swallowed by a series of unforeseen necessities. This dua, recited with presence and conviction in the morning and evening, establishes a spiritual force field around the believer. It is an announcement to the universe that one's affairs, one's possessions, and one's very being are under the direct guardianship of the one whose name alone is a sufficient shield. By affirming that nothing can cause harm without his permission, we are not denying the existence of trials, but we are reframing them. A financial setback that occurs within this circle of divine protection is no longer a random, meaningless loss. It becomes a divinely ordained protection from a greater, unseen harm. Perhaps a pride that would have destroyed us, or an investment that would have led to ruin, or a path that would have taken us far from our faith. Consider the modern-day equivalence of these unseen cracks. You work diligently and earn a respectable income, yet you find yourself at the end of the month wondering where it all went. There is no single large foolish purchase to point to, just a slow, steady trickle of funds toward things that brought no lasting benefit or joy. This is a lack of barakah, leakage. You enter into a business partnership that on paper looks flawless, but it becomes mired in misunderstandings, delays, and unexpected conflicts, sucking away your time, your peace, and your profit. This is a spiritual harm. You purchase a new home or car, and it seems as if it is constantly in need of repairs, becoming a source of financial strain rather than a blessing. These are not merely coincidences or bad luck in the worldview of a believer. They are manifestations of unprotected provisions, of blessings exposed to the elements of spiritual harm. The dua of protection is the remedy. It is the conscious act of taking your hard-earned salary, your business ventures, your home and your family, and placing them under the divine trademark of Bismillah. You are in effect saying, this that I have, this that I am about to do is in your name, O Allah. Therefore, let no harm touch it unless it is a harm from which you will bring a greater good. This practice cultivates a mindset of profound mindfulness and intentionality. Before starting the car to go to work, you recite it, seeking protection for the vehicle and for the journey, ensuring that your means of livelihood does not become a source of tragedy. Before signing a contract or transferring funds, you silently invoke this name, asking that this transaction be sealed with divine guardianship, free from hidden pitfalls, fraud, or future disputes. When you receive your paycheck, you remember this principle, understanding that the money you hold is a trust that must be guarded from wastefulness and from use in anything that would displease its true owner. This transforms our relationship with wealth from one of mere ownership to one of sacred stewardship. We are no longer frantic owners trying to protect our property with our own limited strength. We are humble custodians, relying on the infinite power of the real owner to guard what he has lent us. The beauty of this protection is that it is not passive. It is linked to the beautiful names of Allah mentioned within the dua itself as Sami, the all-hearing, and Fa'al Alim, the all-knowing. He hears your whispered plea for protection as you drive through traffic, and he knows the hidden intention of the other driver on the road. He hears your silent prayer over a business deal, and he knows the true heart of the person you are dealing with. Your own knowledge is limited, your vision myopic. You cannot see the hidden flaws in a deal, the secret envy in a heart, or the future calamity tied to a seemingly beneficial opportunity. But the one you call upon sees and knows all. By entrusting your affairs to him, you are leveraging his omniscience against your own ignorance. You are using the ultimate security system, one that is not fooled by appearances and is not limited by time and space. The barakah that results from this is a barakah of preservation. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing your efforts are safeguarded. It is the money that, though it may not be vast, consistently proves sufficient for your needs. It is the business that enjoys stability and a reputation for fairness. It is the home that though it may be modest, is filled with contentment and safety. This dua does not necessarily promise to make you the richest person in the room, but it promises to make you the most secure in your soul, knowing that what Allah has given you and what you have entrusted to Him, no force in the heavens or the earth can take away without His leave. And in that profound, unshakable security lies a wealth that no number can ever quantify.